Welcome back, everyone.
That
Hope
intro.
you guys enjoyed our piano music. I think that was piano. It
I
was like
felt like I was in an elevator.
electronic piano, elevator music. Hey, everybody's gotta have elevator music. Just let us be. Let
Right?
us rock with our elevator music. Welcome on back for episode 21 of Sports Talk Live. It's kind of crazy that we've done 21.
Wait. 2, 1, 21.
I'm trying to figure out how to count real quick. I like it. Anyways, it was an exciting week of sports. We had another week of playoff football. Basketball's getting a little spicy. It's
It
heating
is
up.
very spicy.
And we had some huge moves in the baseball world. So I'll kind of start with the baseball move real quick.
Let's do it.
I mean, we had a huge free agent signing, the biggest free agent player in baseball this year, in the name of George Springer from the Houston Astros, signing with the Toronto Blue Jays. So the Blue Jays are a small market team. You don't usually see them make these big moves, so it was really cool. Do you know who George Springer is, Jacob?
Say it again.
George Springer. Do you know who he is?
I in fact do.
Oh, okay. I didn't know how deep your baseball knowledge went, but
It's not that much. It's just I did a little research. Come on, we were in sports talk. I gotta look up stuff.
Fair enough. So George Springer, I mean, he instantly makes the Toronto Blue Jays lineup better. There was a rumor, it actually gotten broke by like the Woj of baseball, who's Ken Rosenthal. He broke the news that Michael Brantley, George Springer's teammate, also signed in Toronto, only to come out 2 hours later and go, I was wrong. He is actually going back to the Houston Astros, signing a 2-year deal. It was kind of a funny moment. The Blue Jays thought they won huge. They thought they got Springer and Brantley, but they only got Springer, which is still a huge W for Toronto.
How did that happen? That's interesting.
Yeah, not often do you see a Woj. Like, imagine if Woj for the NBA tweeted out, like, this player signed here, only to come out 2 hours later. Like, that's how mind-blowing it was to the baseball world.
I wonder what happened there, though. That's interesting because there must have been some kind of a verbal –
yeah, apparently,
kind of like, all right, yeah, we're in. And then within that 2 hours, like, you know what? We're out.
Yeah, apparently what happened was there was like he was down between the two contracts. It was either going to be the Blue Jays or the Astros.
Mm-hmm.
And when someone said he's still deciding, they thought, and his teammates signed in Toronto, so they were probably eager to put the news out. Teammates going to Toronto, and he ended up going back home. Maybe Houston gave some extra money once they lost Springer. Who knows?
Could be.
That was kind of interesting. The big trade, Francisco Liriano, that happened last week. We also saw their GM get fired for some scandalous things. I'll leave it at that. Other than that, the baseball world's kind of slowly going. Kirby Yates also signed in Toronto. Toronto's been building up a team. That AL East, that whole division with the Yankees, who look good, the Rays, who were in the World Series last year, and the Red Sox, who are a big market team. It's going to be a fun division to watch.
Yeah.
We also saw the Padres make some big moves down south. Only like them and the Dodgers are almost neck and neck now. It's going to be a fun division to watch in the NL West as well. And I think that's all the baseball we got for today.
We actually had a legend, baseball legend, Hank Aaron, passed away this morning.
Oh, yeah. I forgot to mention that, man. He was the home run leader for many, many years until Barry Bonds came around. But yeah, Hank Aaron, he made the All-Star team 24 years straight.
That's crazy.
He actually made it in a 25th year, but he decided not to play.
That is crazy.
So, I mean,
I didn't know that.
It's crazy for so many reasons beyond just he was phenomenal at the game. Mm-hmm. But to do it for 25 years is just mind-blowing.
Yeah. Like, that just shows how great of a player he was.
Yeah, no, for real. So, rest in peace, Hank Aaron.
Rest in peace.
Wishing his family the absolute best. And do you want to go into football or basketball next? What are you feeling?
I am up for anything today. What are you feeling, Coach?
Ooh, I love myself some football, so let's hop on into football. And with the first game, we had the Rams and Packers last week, where we saw the Packers take the win. I don't think that game was ever really that close. We both said Packers, I believe, right?
I was gonna say, did we made predictions for those games, right? Are we all caught
Yeah.
up on our predictions now?
Oh yeah, I totally did that. Do you know what? We'll have it for the end of the year football wrap. We'll do like an end of
Okay.
the year wrap up.
The Megla Bowl.
I'll have it by then. So, anyways, in Packers Rams, I took the Packers. Did you take the Packers?
I did.
Yeah, so I think we both kind of knew where that was going. Without Jared Goff being healthy, I don't know if the Rams ever really had much of a chance. Green Bay's offense is just on another level to not have a quarterback be healthy against them.
Yeah. If I remember correctly, I picked two teams against you on purpose, even though I didn't want to, and I knew it. It backfired on me.
It only backfired on one, I think, because the next one's Bills Ravens. I went with the Bills.
And I went with the Ravens purposely.
The Ravens couldn't score. They put up 3 points.
It was ugly. It was ugly.
That game in general was just an ugly game, even by the Bills. Like, they won, but it was not a pretty win.
Yeah, it was not.
Yeah, I like the Bills. I mean, I think what I said last week, what we kind of both mentioned on the show last week, is it was going to come down to the wide receiver core, and I think we kind of saw that come true. I mean, the defenses were both good, and I think the skill of the Buffalo Bills wide receiver core is really what separated them in the end.
Yeah, it really did. It really did.
On to the next game, we have the Chiefs versus the Browns. I believe we both took the Chiefs here.
Nope.
Right? You didn't take the Chiefs?
I took the Browns.
Oh,
just because, remember?
Oh, my.
Didn't I?
No. I think you ended up taking the Chiefs. I did.
I was talking about there's a good chance that they put up a good game, and I was going to just to go against, but I didn't. I picked the Chiefs to win, which we found out that with Chad Henne at the helm, anything is possible. So, did you see that was epic. I was honestly really nervous for the Chiefs after that.
I mean, one thing I've noticed about this playoffs is there is ex-Raiders scattered among all these teams, including Carl Joseph, who picked off Chad Henne.
You would make this about the Raiders, wouldn't you?
No, I just more want to bring up the point that, like, the Raiders
had watching from home like the rest of us.
I know they had all these guys with skill, but all these guys were not good with the Raiders. Like, Carl Joseph was not good, but now Carl Joseph has an interception in every playoff game this year.
Yep.
Every game he's played, and he has an interception this postseason. So it's been kind of wild. It was cool to see an ex-Raider thrive. It came out today that Patrick Mahomes has been cleared from the concussion protocol.
Sheesh, luckily for them.
We will be seeing them play the Bills. We'll talk about that in a second, though. And then we get into this last game where I got this one wrong. It was the Bucs Saints. I took it. And
I think I did too.
Yeah, I think you did as well. I think Drew Brees we could talk about that. Drew Brees retiring.
Yeah.
Or that hasn't been confirmed yet. Only one retiring has been confirmed, and that's Phillip Rivers. Yeah. But Drew Brees, rumored to be retiring. I mean, his wife came out and said all the injuries he had, like 11 broken ribs. He tore his rotator cuff. He had like a foot issue. And it was just like, oh, man. Like, I totally understand if he's retiring. Great career. It's sad to see him go out this way.
Yeah.
But he had a great career, man.
I don't want to say it's sad to see him go out this way. I mean,
3 interception game. You would hate to see anyone go out with a 3 interception game as their last one.
No matter what. Oh man, we got a message in the chat. Somebody said, "Go Packers."
Oh, go Packers! Christian Ray,
Coach Christian in the chat. Thank you for watching, Coach. But yes. Oh my God, I lost my train of thought. What?
Talking about Drew Brees.
Drew Brees. So I think he's, no matter what, though, I think we all know he's going to be a Hall of Fame quarterback. He's got a ring. He's got his ring. He's got everything he needs. He's got everything he needs.
Like completion percentage. He's definitely first ballot Hall of Famer in my mind.
Oh yeah, easy.
Yeah.
The only thing is that I wanted him to beat Brady. You know, I wanted him to. Yeah. I stopped myself because I was gonna say I wanted them to win, but I don't want either of those teams to win. They're in my division, so I'm going for either the Packers or an AFC team. I don't care which AFC team, as long as it's not the Bucs, I'm okay with it. But
I mean, Drew Brees was great. They had a rough game. I mean, Michael Thomas even said it even came out that Michael Thomas was probably like Moses wouldn't have played, but he only played because it's probably Drew Brees' last game.
Yeah.
And he wanted to be out there for Drew Brees' last game because he got shut down too. He was like, it's like he wasn't.
I don't know. In my opinion, he didn't look all there. Like
he didn't look like his normal self. That's for sure.
Yeah, so it makes sense when I was wondering. I didn't realize that they put him in just so he can play with Brees for maybe possibly one last time.
Yeah,
but
it makes sense now though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it makes sense, but still, it's a playoff game. I get he's Michael Thomas.
Yeah,
but he's been hurt all season long. He's been just kind of hanging on.
But you play your best guys. If they can play, if they're on the field, you play your best guys. Like you don't have a Michael Thomas, a Julio. Like if Julio Jones was only kind of healthy for the Falcons, Julio Jones is going to be out there. Like
yeah,
it's the same with on the Chiefs. Like
even if
what's up?
What was his stat line?
Michael Thomas? I don't even think he could catch. If he did, it was like one catch for 8 yards. He didn't do much.
It was exactly my point.
Yeah.
Like I get it. You want to put your best guys out there, but if they're not producing because they're injured.
But either way, like because of their name, they take attention from the defense. So you want them out there to open up stuff for your other guys. In my mind,
typically, yes, I would 100% agree with that. But in this situation, Michael Thomas has been out and he hasn't been producing all season long. We all know that. Every team knows that. Like, I honestly don't think him being in the game was like that much of a worry after probably the first quarter or two.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think we see it all the time where guys miss significant parts of the season, though, and then they come out in the playoffs and ball out. Like, we've seen that before. Yeah, so,
definitely.
I mean, if you're the Saints, you have to take the risk, obviously, in my mind.
Exactly. That's why we chose him.
Yeah, exactly. So, let's talk about next week's match. Or do you want to talk about Phillip Rivers real quick? Because we kind of brought him up, too. Phillip Rivers announced he's retiring. How do you feel about
it? He's a good quarterback. He'll probably. I'm not going to say he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He doesn't have a ring.
I don't think he's a Hall of Famer.
I don't know if he's going to be in the Hall of Fame.
See, I think of him as the same as Tony Romo. I don't know if Tony Romo's a Hall of Famer. And damn. Eli Manning without the ring, I feel like would be in the same situation. But Eli Manning has his rings, so I think Eli Manning ends up getting in.
Well, yeah.
That's a separate.
Doesn't he have more than one ring?
Eli has 2. Yeah,
he has 2, right? Yeah. So that'll throw him up there, and he's done enough. He's played enough in the league. He's made enough All-Star or.
What I was saying is
talk about basketball Pro Bowls.
Yeah. More of the point I was making there though was like if Eli Manning doesn't have those rings, do you think he's a Hall of Famer?
Probably not.
He's probably in the similar situation as Phillip Rivers, right? Like where it's
that's what I was about to say. Like if Rivers had a ring, he probably would be.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to take away from the fact that I feel like I liked Rivers. I didn't think he was a bad quarterback. I kind of think he deserved a ring.
I don't. But he's in my division.
But that's why you don't. I feel like he deserved it. Just like you said, you hate to see Drew Brees go down like that. I don't think he had a bad last game, I guess, but he had a great career. He had a great career.
For Phillip Rivers specifically, though, I think it was time. I mean, we saw him last year with the Chargers be very, very not his normal self. And even this year
he was much better this year, though, than he was last year.
But I think a lot of that was the Colts' defense being better, which enabled him not to have to take as many deep field shots. Because whenever he threw the field with the Chargers was when he got in trouble.
Yeah, but I get it. But that Colts D was pretty stingy for him, especially through the beginning of the season. But so good luck to Phillip Rivers, and hopefully we'll see. Maybe he will get. I don't know. He might not get inducted, but I'm sure he's up there in the stat line somewhere.
He's probably up there for like certain games or stuff. I wouldn't be mad if he got in. I just don't know if he will. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So let's get into our 2 conference championship games. First, we have the Tampa Bay Bucks versus the Green Bay Packers. I think we already know where you're going, so take it away. Packers, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna take the Bucks.
Sorry, guys.
Hey, fair enough. I don't know what I'm going to say for this next one, but I'm going to go Packers. I think just the Packers offense. I mean, Antonio Brown got announced out today for the Bucks. So I think without Antonio Brown and Mike Evans and Chris Godwin haven't really been their normal selves this year. Derek has a comment. Go Bills, need a new champion. Rivers will get inducted into Canton. He is our generation's Dan Marino.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like he will get inducted. I think he will.
I mean, I won't hate it. I don't know.
Thank you for popping in, Derek.
Yeah, we appreciate the comment too. I like to go Bills. I don't know if I'm confident enough to say the Bills will take it over the Chiefs, but we'll get into that in a sec. But I'm going to take the Packers here. I think I think they have the better defensive scheme. Their old GM, did you hear about this? Ted Thompson, he passed away recently. Yeah. He's the one who drafted Aaron Rodgers, built a lot of those championship Packers teams. So I think you might see some of those guys playing with a little extra fire under them. And I mean, I'd rather root for the Packers than the Bucks, in my opinion.
Yep.
I think we're both aligned there. So let's move on to the next one where we got the Buffalo Bills. There's the Kansas City Chiefs. And this could be a really, really good game.
I'm expecting it to be a really good game.
I'm hoping.
Yeah. I really hope it comes down to the wire, kind of a exciting kind of a match. I think both of these teams have a good shot to win a title, but ultimately, who can provide the best game for us in the Super Bowl right now? None of our favorite teams are in the Super Bowl right now. I know you probably don't want the Chiefs to win because you're a Raiders fan. A lot of people don't want them to win 2 in a row. I'm kind of rooting for them though. I don't know. I wouldn't mind seeing Patrick Mahomes take another title. I have nothing against the Chiefs. I have nothing against Mahomes. I think they're great. They're a great team. But for some reason, I have a feeling that Buffalo is going to make this a dogfight. There's no way. Like, they made it this far with. I mean, their receiving core is good, but in my opinion, their offense is just kind of mediocre. If Josh Allen does not blow up, they don't win.
The difference in my mind in this game is like what I was going to say about the Chiefs is I hate the Chiefs. I don't like them at all. I'm a huge Raiders fan. Don't like the Chiefs.
We know. We all know. We've heard this all 21 episodes.
I have so much respect for Patrick Mahomes in that offense. Dude. It is fun to watch the Chiefs play football. Like, I have to say it. Like, you can't watch Patrick Mahomes and say I didn't enjoy that. It just the two things don't go together. They just don't.
Crazy things happen when he's on the field.
I feel like you almost can say to a lesser extent the same thing about Josh Allen. When Josh Allen's on the field this year for this season, like you're excited. You know something's going to happen.
You're hoping he scores 50 points for you in fantasy football.
Yeah. The biggest difference here, though, in my mind, is I think the Bills might want it more than the Chiefs at this point. Not that the Chiefs don't want it, but the Bills have that extra drive. Because, dude, for years, everybody was hating on the Bills. It was the Bills, the Browns, the Raiders, and the Jags. Like, they were, like, the worst team forever, right? Like, you attribute those teams to losing for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I want to see the Bills succeed. I'd rather see the Bills win. I don't know if I'm confident enough to say the Bills will win over the Chiefs, though.
I don't think they will, only because they got a good D, and Josh Allen tears it up, and the receiving cores they're good, but overall, I don't think they're well rounded enough to take on the Packers or the Chiefs, in my opinion.
And I
think they have a good shot. If they were to play the Buccaneers, I think they'd probably beat the Bucs.
I think they could beat the Packers.
I don't know.
I don't know if I'd pick them.
I'm really high on Green Bay right now. I honestly think that they're gonna probably win it.
Yeah.
If it comes down to Chiefs Packers, I'm going to go Packers. By the way.
Oh yeah. I probably will because I don't want to see the Chiefs winning it.
Of all teams, I'd rather the Packers win.
I'm taking the Bills. Go Bills.
All right, I'm going Chiefs. Let's go.
I think the Bills defense is a little better than the Chiefs defense. Not that defenses even matter in this game. I really think it's just going to be a super offensive heavy game. I think the biggest problem with the Bills against the Chiefs is when we've seen the Chiefs struggle this year, it's been against the teams that I said this last week, that control the ball, run the ball. I mean, that's how the Raiders beat them. They controlled the clock and ran the timeout and just scored when they had to.
Yep.
The thing with the Bills offense is the Bills don't really like Singletary. Zach Moss is hurt, and Singletary hasn't really been that running back they thought he was going to be out of the draft. And that's
None of
my
those
worry
running
about the
backs.
Bills is the pace of play. Because if it's just touchdown, 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 it's hard to keep up with the Chiefs because they're going to score every time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why, and I kind of wanted to get at that, but I feel like I've been bashing on Buffalo's run game all season long.
Yeah, I've been bashing on it recently, but
yeah, like
good.
Singletary and Moss, they're just, oh my gosh. I know they're both still young, and I know there's a lot to improve still, but like something's got to give here, guys. Y'all got to be able to run the ball if you're going to be a championship team a little. You know what I mean? Like I get it. There have been Super Bowls where running backs got like I think, for instance, one of Manning's rings, the leading rusher had 40 yards the whole game. Like, it was all passing. But and I get it, it can happen. The Chiefs don't exactly have like a super amazing run game, but they get it done when needed. And I think is Hilaire still out? Edward Hilaire? Is he still out this week?
I don't believe that's been announced yet. Sorry if you hear
I don't think they've announced if he's playing or not. But I know he was out last week, so they put in Le'Veon Bell, and yeah, he's all right. He didn't do
Le'Veon
bad.
Bell wasn't the backup last week. It was Darrell Williams. Le'Veon Bell.
Did Bell start the game?
I think so, but Bell only ended the game with like 3 touches. Darrell Williams.
That's what I'm saying. He was all right. Like he was on the field, like doing pass blocking and stuff a good amount of times, but he was just whatever. So I get it. Like that game is going to be super, super pass heavy. I'm seeing it already. Super pass heavy. And just like you said, if they can't run the ball and just chew the clock up, it's going to be tough to keep up with the Chiefs.
It definitely will be. But hopefully the Bills pull it out. I would love to see the Bills win. And yeah, we'll be back to continue our football segment next week. Let's move on to basketball. Is there anything you want to bring up in basketball, or you want to just hop into our hometown Warriors?
Well, up until last night, last night, the Warriors, whew, tough game, guys.
Last night was weird, though. There were so many fouls called. 47 fouls in total called last night.
Yeah, the refs were they were on another level last night. And
like Draymond Green getting ejected because he was yelling at his teammate. Like, come on.
Yeah. Well, apparently the ref thought he was yelling at him.
Yeah. Well, they already rescinded the technical. Did you hear that?
Yeah, they rescinded the technical. They allowed Draymond to keep his paycheck for the game. But like, what is it? Like maybe 5-10 minutes after it happened, or like, oh, by the way, it was the official's mistake.
Yeah, I think they
Draymond still can't return. Like, what?
I think at the beginning of the second half they announced it, and you're just like, oh, great. Good thing to know he's getting paid even though he can't come back. Like,
yeah. So, well, at least he's getting a paycheck. But it was a rough game last night. But other than last night, I'm gonna avoid talking about yesterday, because if I talk about yesterday, I'm just gonna get frustrated. So I'm gonna avoid talking about yesterday. But up until that, the Warriors are super exciting. They look like we were starting to finally find a role.
Like that win against the Lakers, they came back.
Huge win against the Lakers.
Yeah, man, that was huge. And James Wiseman just looks like he's getting more and more comfortable every time he plays.
Yeah, he's learning. He's growing. I think I would like to see him with some more time, though. I would. They showed a stat last night during the game where his stat line right now was matching that of KG, Kevin Garnett, and various
Duncan. It was 19-year-old centers, right?
Yeah, they were talking about not just centers, but players who got drafted in their teens.
Yeah.
And each one of those players had more minutes, other than I think like one or two, had more minutes than Wiseman. But Wiseman's stats were either better or even with those top guys, And we all know how Kevin Garnett turned out. He was a great player. So, if this just keeps up and maybe the time is, I would like to see more time, but maybe that it is what he needs just to kind of learn it and figure it out before he gets thrown in there too much. But because there were a couple little things that I saw, and then like a little clips you see of in-game talks. I know you've seen them about Draymond talking to him,
and pulling him over, being like, "Here, this is what you need to do."
Yeah. So maybe that's probably why he doesn't have too much time yet. It's still early in the season. They haven't even played full 20 games yet, and it takes time to learn, especially with the short off season. So I'm not holding it against him yet. I think he's doing great. I just, like I said, I would like to see him play a little bit more.
Yeah, his individual plus minus isn't that great right now. And I mean, he only played like what was it, 3 games at Memphis in college? Like he didn't play many games in college. So he still has a lot to learn. And I think they will slowly ease him into more and more minutes. I mean, I think
Yeah.
we'll see him playing significant minutes by the end of the year.
I
But
was,
I mean,
but more specifically, I was hoping last night after Draymond went out, I was like, all right, we're gonna see a little bit more Wiseman.
we
But
got to
who
see
did we
Nico
see? Who did
Williams.
we see? And he was impressive. Do you
Yeah,
remember?
he had some good assists. I mean, he had one to Wiseman, I think, where he like kind of came around the outside and threw it to him.
Who are
And
you referring to?
Nico Mannion, who are you talking
Oh
about?
no. Nico Manning came in though. That was exciting.
Yeah.
But I was talking about our good old friend Pascal
Oh yeah, man.
playing that small ball center, and he was looking
Yeah,
pretty good right there though.
he's been looking good. Like after the first couple games of the year, I was like, oh man, dude, Pascal looks so much worse than last year.
Mm-hmm.
But ever since those first like 4 or 5 games or so, he's just been on a heater. He's heating up, and
Yep.
I think he's playing some of his best basketball ever right now. So it's fun to watch.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess you could say, that he's only been playing what, a year or two.
Year and a half.
So, but yeah, he was really impressive last night. So that was cool. There was a lot of good things that happened that I saw yesterday from our second unit. Nico Manning looked like he was cool.
Yeah.
They were saying that if they would have put him in a little bit sooner, it might have been able to help once Draymond got ejected because he needed another ball handler, and he looked pretty good with the ball in his hands. Like he was fluid, he could move. There were a couple little rookie mistakes we saw where he kind of cut Wiseman off on some alley oops and things like that. But yeah, so this show's turning into a Warriors talk show versus a NBA show. So we got quite a few games going on today. We got Chicago taking on Charlotte, Houston taking on Detroit, Houston with that whole new look. They're not the same team anymore. And then Orlando Magic taking on the Pacers. We got a few later on this evening, Brooklyn and Cleveland, another rematch, which was exciting game the other day. Yeah. Did you see Colin Sexton? Oh my!
You see Sexton block KD?
Yes, all of that, dude.
That was insane.
He was a dog that game. He was just after it. He was unstoppable. Dropped 42 points. I think 20 something of them came in the double overtimes. So he just after that fourth quarter and those overtime quarters, they could not stop that guy.
Yeah, no, that was
so nasty. I saw a clip of him getting ready to defend. He just looked like so mean. Like, oh man, that guy was defending me. I'd be scared.
I think one thing that was really cool about that game, or not really cool, but something interesting, was we saw what everyone kind of thought when this Nets team was formed come true. Like we saw like Kyrie, KD, and Harden, and we're like, oh, they're not going to play defense. And we saw a game where they all dropped like 30 points. They all had good individual games, but they lost.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know if defense is what to point at, but they allowed 147 points. I know it was in double overtime, but that's still a lot of points.
Yeah, it is.
So, yeah. So they just need to figure it out defensively. I think we all know what they can offensively do. They just need to find a system to play defense with.
Yep, definitely. Moving forward with today's games, we got Boston playing Philadelphia in a second rematch. Who won? Didn't they play yesterday or day before that? I don't remember who won.
I don't know off the top of my head.
It was a close game. I think it was 2 nights ago. It was a close game, and I missed. I actually blanked out. I missed it because that was their rematch since the sweep in the playoffs. So it was interesting. But we also got Coach Christian's favorite team, the Miami Heat, playing against the Toronto Raptors today, as well as Atlanta playing against Minnesota, Dallas playing against San Antonio Spurs, and then to finish off the evening, we have Denver taking on Phoenix, Oklahoma City taking on the Clippers, and the Knicks, who somehow beat us yesterday. Taking on the Sacramento Kings.
The Knicks are the number 1 defensive team right now.
They're playing pretty strong right now.
Yeah, their defense is on lock. And, I mean, we saw that yesterday against the Warriors. The Warriors, I mean, on top of getting stopped by their defense, just kept fouling. Like, they had 4 fouls on a 13-second stretch. That's just
they realized that they were able to beat us one-on-one, which is crazy. You wouldn't think that. You would not think that. They started leaving, one-on-one balls and forcing our players to have to do something themselves, like when they had the ball, and that's what got us. Once you eliminate our ball movement, oh man, we struggle.
Yes, sir. It was rough to watch for sure. Anything else you want to mention for the basketball?
Oh man, nope. I'm just excited to get into some sports this evening, and I hope everybody else continues to join us for sports talk. I hope everybody else continues to start sending in some comments, chat with us while we're live. That makes
Yeah,
it a lot more engaging. Appreciate everybody who watches. Thank you all.
we got some comments today. It was fun to interact with them.
It was.
Figure out, rock with them. I like it. Want to see some more of this. Anyways, I think that will do it today. Enjoy your week of sports. Hopefully, you have some great games. Hopefully, we have some great games to watch.
Oh, we will this weekend. This is gonna be a fun weekend. Tons of
Definitely.
basketball for the rest of the day moving forward.
Yeah.
Rest of this evening. I know it's 4:30 on the West Coast. East Coast is just getting started too. It's going great. Thank you for that, Coach Christian. Great show. We got a lot of football going on. We got some basketball going on this weekend. It's going to be a blast. Can't wait.
Okay, guys. See you next week.